just ordinary people. They're ordinary people who said, I've had enough, and the only way we're going to have a chance. We don't have any lawyers that are going to help us. We don't have politicians that are going to help us. We don't have anyone that's going to help us. We got to help ourselves.
Ellis will help us out. Dale Kilby's our buddy.
Pardon?
I say Dale Kilby's our buddy. Ellis Cole's a lawyer, isn't he?
I don't know who those people are.
Well, I'm just saying. You know,
U.A.W.
it's not like there's not people out there we couldn't talk to. There's somebody in this room, I don't know who it is, that's suing Ghettofinger or Wagner or somebody that's filed actual legal documents.
I wonder who that could be.
There's stuff that's going on for real.
I know.
Yeah, but the problem we got is you got the financial people have taken over industry and taken over the government.
Right.
You got Goldman Sachs running the Treasury. It's crime what's going on. I'm not here to talk about politics. I came here today to meet you nice people, talk about the car business. What we need to do is sell some cars. It's not a cost issue. It's not about taking things away from people and closing things and selling things and borrowing money and asking for a handout. It's how do we go back to the basics of being professional and lead this industry.
Well, the only thing I have to say is when they've cut the wages down to $11 an hour and $14 an hour, and they're...
If people will work for them, they're probably right.
But people are married with families, have children, have mortgages. How can they afford to buy a new car?
You're absolutely right. I agree 100%.
And he's
They would have never got away with cutting wages and dislocating the industry to another continent if it wasn't for losing $70 billion. But in the long run, if they make $700 billion, you do the math. These are very intelligent people that are opposing you and putting you on the endangered species list.
So would you
And car dealers are marked for extinction.
okay, where would you go?
You're lucky to have U.A.W.
Man, where would you go first
Very
now,
lucky.
given the dilemma now?
You're very lucky to have this guy too.
Yeah, I know that, but that's how these people are.
What are you going to do about it though? This is the question.
That's what we're
We
asking.
can sit around, send all kinds of nice emails, go on Facebook, send each other Christmas cards. So, that's very nice.
So what would you have us do?
What do you want to do about it? Well, I got the answer. It's not a cost issue, it's a revenue issue. If we sold another 1 million cars a year, we wouldn't have these meetings or these problems. How are we going to sell more cars? This is the question.
Bring the work.
Now, if you've got a problem, if you broke your tooth, you're going to call a dentist. If you got a problem with your tooth, you're going to call a dentist. If you get a water leak in your basement, you're going to call a plumber. You want to know how to sell cars? I'm the top salesman of all time. I presented a plan to Wagner. He wouldn't let me pass it out. He offered me $5,000 to sign off on it. I said no. Then I couldn't even pass it out in a meeting. The guy's a crook. Throw his ass out. This is your problem. Address the issue. Look where the problems are. The annual meeting is going to be in Detroit this year. You don't have to go to Wilmington, Delaware. If you got any GM stock, it's not worth anything. It's worth less than a Happy Meal. Go buy some. Come to the annual meeting. Speak up as a shareholder. Throw these banks out. They want all these investment banking fees so they can combine this and sell that and join this and cut that. It's a bunch of bullshit. I want to sell cars. I want to build cars here. And they're messing with my livelihood, my city, my schools, my kids. I'm sick and tired of it.
You know, you're just the guy I'm looking for. Then you do that.
Well, let's do something about it.
All right, you tell me what you want to do, and we'll talk to these retired.
Come to the annual meeting of shareholders. That's what I want you to do.
But
They
before
moved it to August, and it's in
My
Detroit.
brother's already gone to those. So.
Go to it. Show up. That's what I want you to do.
I'll do that. But what do we do in the meantime?
You show up at the auto show. You know, it's nice to do.
We've already been.
Excuse me,
Go ahead,
ma'am.
Brad. Go ahead.
Jim, can you explain to these people that if they come to the annual meeting, that you have a plan that they may
Most definitely.
support or participate in?
100%.
Explain that.
People have looked at my plan. It's on the internet.
Well, what would happen at the
GeneralWatch.com.
annual meeting? Explain to
Well,
them.
you're going to have the worldwide media there. I went in and called for Wagner's resignation 4 years ago. I said, Mr. Wagner, pretend you're him. I said, Mr. Wagner, if your pitcher's getting bombed in the 5th inning, you look to the bullpen. It's time for you to hit the shower, sir. I would like your resignation today, please. This guy lost Oldsmobile, drove into the ground, spongy Max, starving Buick and Pontiac, and he's still running the show. We're buried in debt we can't repay. We're begging from the government. We're taking everything away from everybody, and that son of a bitch is still there. I want him out.
We've asked for congressional.
Enough is enough.
Well,
Let's sell some cars.
Okay, all right.
I'm just a simple car salesman. I don't want his job. I got my own thing going on.
But when is the annual meeting?
August 4th.
Do we have to wait that long?
Well, to the meeting. Can't help that. Buying a stock, you can change the date, I guess.
Well,
You have to own one.
Show up.
but you know.
One share of stock by June, you come into the meeting. You get to turn into Mike like everybody else. It's democracy. And there's a little thing called the SEC they haven't got away with yet. They got rid of all that Glass-Steagall stuff, but they still got the SEC and they got to have the meeting. They want to get rid of all the production, all your health care. You want new knees, go get them yourself.
Why do we have to wait till August 4th?
Well, that's when the meeting is. Show up
Well,
at
if
the
you'll
meeting.
help me, I mean.
I'll be there.
Okay, but no, can we do something before then?
We can probably do a lot of things. I'm just
Well, I
mentioning
know,
that.
I want your suggestion, because that's, we've been running around, taking food to places and.
Well, let's plan that event. We'll do a real good job.
Well, I know, but, and go up to Canada, and then they did.
I've spent $30,000 going there.
Well,
I've given
you're
PowerPoint
not even close to
presentations
what we've
out in
done.
Delaware.
Okay, but.
Come to that meeting.
That's
This
what-
is going to be
You
big.
have to have one General Motors stock. I'm
You
reading
can all
it
get up to the
on-
microphone and they can't stop you. And you can speak as a group.
So what's
You
your
gotta
thought
have
here?
respect.
Wait, we have a gentleman here that, go ahead.
I'm in favor of selling more cars, union-made cars. I'm in favor of that.
Well, good.
I'm not against that. But how are we supposed to do it? For the past 30 years, you're shipping jobs overseas to some place where they have child labor and no pollution laws, and I'm supposed to compete with that.
That's a
30
damn good
years of
question. And I'm going to
destroying
tell you the answer to your
destroying
question.
the wage
It's not a
base.
cost issue. It's not how much your pension costs. How we're going to sell more cars. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take all the top salesmen in Las Vegas, and instead of going to Laguna Gal, and instead of going to Naples, I'm coming to Detroit. And my top guns are going to Milford, and they're going to ride around the proving track. And then I'm going to take them to the styling studio and show them the new stuff. And I'm going to send their spouse over to our best salons. And they're going to go back to Iowa and New Hampshire and Florida and talk about how great General Motors is in Detroit. And it's going to cost me less money because my executives are going to stay home with their family and I don't have to pay all this money. It's going to lower our costs and be more productive and more efficient. That's how we sell cars.
There's nothing wrong with that. But there's
Well,
a lot
it'll
of
pay
people
your
that
pension
want
and
new
health care.
cars, don't have the money and can't get a loan from a bank or credit.
Forget that. That's
Forget
banks
that.
playing
You can't
bullshit
get the
games.
cars away.
That's your international bankers playing macroeconomic games that we have no
My
control
point
over.
is the issue of jobs. I mean, good jobs.
Well-
We have to bring those back. The
Right.
young people that are taking these two-tier wage rates, we've got to
You know
unite.
what stop was a jobs bank and paying people to sit around and then ain't doing anything. But I thought management. Management comes to you guys, U.A.W, my brothers. My name's Dollinger. Check Janora Dollinger. She was a women's brigade in Flint. Let me tell you what. They say, we're going to pay you, even though you don't work, we're going to pay you all to sit in this room, play cards, watch a movie, it's okay. Then they come back at you and say, oh, look at these guys. They want to get paid for not working. Management is two-faced. They've lied to you. I'm here about solidarity. I'm here to protect you guys. I'm part of this family. But I'm telling you, it comes from selling cars. If we don't sell cars, you might as well close it all up and go home.
You know what? You guys both got a good point. I can tie it together. We need American paying jobs. You're 100% right. How long has General Motors been building cars?
Only 100 years.
They haven't figured it out yet, have they?
Yeah, they have.
No, they haven't.
I
They wouldn't be
think they
broke if they out. They want to make money.
You
They
work
don't
at
know how to
General
build
Motors?
cars.
You work at General
Yes,
Motors?
I do.
I bet you know what you're doing. Greg knew what he was doing. We got good people working there.
Management don't
It's the
open it.
management and the marketing
I
people
agree.
screwing us
But
up.
now-
We know what we're doing.
Here's the thing that kicks in with you. General Motors is another business now, aren't they? Selling used
Now they want to
vehicles.
get rid of our engineering.
No, so-
These guys are designing our cars.
Used cars now, though, aren't they? GM certified. They went to the SEC. They got filed for this. Now we sell new ones and used ones. So what does that do to the dealerships?
Get rid of the banks and get
Agree.
car people back in the car business.
I agree.
I said, come out with this here. My first thing out of the shoe, if you want to pay freight, get a destination charge. That's destination. We won't give some other goofy rebate that nobody understands. No more destination. You want to pay freight, go get a Toyota. We don't charge freight. Let's be the leader.
Right.
This is what they don't understand. You got these banks and finance people running a company right down the drain. Every time they turn around, I get so freaking dizzy.
$20 jobs, because what that does, that helps bring everybody else, their standard up. Why do you think Toyota pays the rates they do? To keep the union people out.
Go ahead, Greg. Greg has a question.